Hey, let me just check. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Is my audio okay? No noises, just birds. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm sitting in my backyard. My show plants are right next to me. I've got a little setup here with my laptop, and I have this piece of cardboard, a low-tech solution just to cover my laptop keyboard because as you can see, it's quite sunny. It was supposed to be raining earlier. It was really cloudy, but suddenly the sun came out, which is good, which allows me to bring my laptop right next to me and allows me to read the comments properly. So, hello Amanda, hello Jeek Lopez, hello Lori Bori, hello David 415, hello Nick Footy, hi Carmela Chavez, and CNS Vlog by Yan Yan. A bit distorted. Is it too loud or how about that? Is that better? I'm just checking on my audio again. Popping sound. Huh. Let me listen to it on my phone, see if cracking sound. Huh. Yeah, this happens. Audio. Any better? I'm going to test from my phone because so yeah, the first few minutes is just us trying out various configurations, just troubleshooting my audio. But at least it's better than the last time. Hello. I don't hear anything. But I think it's a bit better now. Yeah. Okay. It's weird listening to myself on the phone. I'm just going to turn this off now. Okay. So it's a slightly different setup compared to the last time. Last time I had a huge tarp on the floor, on the ground, and that explains why there's this brown patch on the ground. This is mainly because I left the tarp here for a few weeks, and of course the grass died, no sunlight. And yeah, I'm just having a look at YouTube now. Ooh, there's 22 watching. Hello, everyone. uh, yeah, let me just scroll down to the comments. So I see a lot more people now. Yeah, we've got people from California, the Philippines, Australia, and anywhere else. But yeah, I think we have almost the same audience as last time in terms of geographic spread. So anyway, it's 2:05. I think it's a good time to start. So again, as I mentioned, I have my show plans right next to me. These are all of the entries that I'll be bringing to the show. And in case you were wondering, we have an annual spring show, a cactus and succulent show. No, an annual spring competition held by the Cactus and Succulent Society of Australia, and it is held at every fourth weekend of October. And here in Australia, October is in the middle of spring. So yeah, it's more or less a good time as any to have a show because it's not too warm and it's not too cold. Just a perfect time. And the main thing that I'm worried about is since it's starting to get warm, I wonder if I can still maintain the colors of my plants. This is the main reason why I have all of them out here, just to get as much sunlight as I could possibly give them. I'm just looking at the comments. Yeah, looks like my audio is doing better. And yeah, So for this live stream, there's a few things that I wanted to discuss. The first, of course, is you would have noticed that I've been away. I haven't been doing any videos for the past few weeks. Yeah, I think it's just a few weeks. I'm on a slight I'm on a quick break, and it started on the week of my birthday. It was mid-September, and we just went on a staycation around Melbourne. It was fun. And after that, I had to attend, well, I attended a video conference, VidCon Australia, and I met up with a lot of other YouTubers and creators, and I learned a lot of stuff which would help me with the whole channel thing. And apart from that, of course, I had to be busy for the show. I was preparing a lot of plants, and I have been spending the last few weekends just looking around garden centers and landscaping and uh, pot centers. And yeah, I spent a bit of time just looking for pots to pair my plants with. So thank you. Happy late birthday. Thank you. So yeah, based on the last, I think last month, that's when we got the finalized list of classes for the show. And compared to last year's show, there were several classes that were removed. And uh, thankfully, not a lot of the classes that I intended to join were removed. It's mostly just some of the cacti categories were bunched together. I guess there wasn't that much entries in certain categories last year. And in terms of my entries, I think I am joining 7 or 8 classes. I haven't really counted. I think it was 7. So if you can count 21 plants here, then that means 21 bowls. Then that means I am entering 7 classes, because you are allowed to enter maximum of 3 plants per category, and I wanted to make the most out of it. So yeah, with this show, my goal is not really to win, but to represent Echeveria, as I have been mentioning for the past year, past year I guess. And a lot of my entries here contain Echeveria, even the mixed bowl planters, except this one. There's no Echeveria here. But yeah, almost all of them contain lots and lots of rosettes, because that's the type of plant that I like to collect. And I feel that they are not as represented in the show in the past few years. It's mostly just cactus. So yeah. What state are you in? I'm in Victoria. I'm in the western suburbs of Melbourne. So it's, well, it was cold yesterday. We had a cool change, but looks like now it's starting to get better again. The temperature yesterday was actually around 10 to 11 during the day, and at night it went even lower. So it felt like we were back the mid or the end of winter. But yeah, it's still looks like it's improving now. So, well, I hope so, Amanda. um, yeah, I really hope, at the very least, I really hope that some of my dish gardens would win, because I think that the dish gardens that I've seen last year or the past few years, they were just design heavy, but I don't know. I didn't feel like there were some sort of story or a theme going on. It's I'm not trying to diss them, but it's more of like they are just designs, the typical bowl designs that you would do, or you just put together plants and see what works together, see what looks nice. In my case, I mostly was working on a theme, and if you've been following my Facebook page, you would know I've been posting in progress photos of each arrangement that I was making. So I'm not sure if you could see this. I hope all of them gets an award. I hope so too. So, yep. I think the first one that I mentioned before was I really wanted to create this yin yang bowl. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm just waiting for the video to update. So yeah, this is the first bowl that I worked on. There are lots of plants in here. At first glance, if you look at it from afar, people might think that I just went the easy way out and just placed lots of pebbles and just 2 plants here. But if you look closely, there's a whole lot of plants. I'll try to go even closer. I'm not sure if this is focusing well, but this is my yin yang planter. And with the dish gardens, there are two categories. The first would be a large bowl category, and the other would be small bowls. So that was my first entry for the large bowl. And here's one of my entries for the small bowls, small dish garden. It is I think the theme here would be a little pond or a little lake. This is probably a cherry blossom tree or something. Well, any tree with pink or red flowers. And this one here, this Echeveria bluebird, this represents a lotus in bloom. So a lotus in the lake, lotus flower. And this Echeveria glauca, the blue rosettes here, this represents the water. And I guess everything else here represents the plants along the lake, no, the bed, but the shore. That's the word I was looking for. So the plants along the shore. So it has a little theme going on, and yeah, I really enjoyed making this one. Now this one, I'm really proud of this, and proud of it in terms of being a dad, because I think I made a dad joke here. This is a literal dish garden, because yeah, a pun on dish. This being a bento box, a Japanese bento box. And yeah, I think the chopsticks sells the whole thing, because at first glance it looks like it's your lunch box, and there's a bunch of plants here. This one would represent the vegetables. This one I think would represent the prawn tempura or whatever. And this would just be more meat and maybe even the pickles. I forgot what they call that. Anyway, yeah. And this would be the rice and more vegetables. So yeah, literal dish garden. Now, this is my second entry for the large dish garden. I'm not sure if everyone would be able to recognize what I was going for here, but the main theme for this is an arid garden, a habitat photo of Echeverias. Because in the wild, Echeveria usually grow between rocks, in the outcrops of rocks, and that's what I was going for here. I wanted people to see, well, in the wild they do not grow this dense, but I just wanted people to have a feel of what they usually look like in the wild. So this is my recreation of the whole thing. So yeah, it's mostly just rocks, no soil, everything's covered. I struggled a bit on this part because there's a lot of rocks here, and I had slightly larger pebbles here covering the gaps, but I didn't think that really worked, because it's hard getting a focal point, because everything looked the same. But once I switched to the smaller pebbles, it gave a lot of contrast, and I'm really pleased with how that turned out. So I'm just going to look at more comments. Dish guard. Yeah. Let's look at more entries now. Okay, this is going to be heavy, so let me just make way. Yeah, some of the stems fell off because I haven't planted them properly yet. But yeah, this one. This is inspired by the forest fires in the Amazon. So as you can see, there are tall plants here. These are Crassula tetragona, and this represents the trees. And surrounding it are red Crassula campfire, representing the fires. And in the foreground, you would see this blue chalk sticks. These ones represent the water being doused on the flames. And surrounding it are dark rosettes. These are Petrosidum spurius, and also known as dragon's blood. So this represents the ash, because when you extinguish the flames, you reveal lots of cinders and ashes. So this is it. The Aeonium as well, it represents the burnt out trees. And yeah, that's the whole theme going on here. And rounding up my dish garden entries, this is a, I like to think that this is a tropical beach. So this would be the palm or coconut trees, and they are in flower. This is Cerriscapades hameli, I think. And surrounding it are blue rosettes representing the water. And of course, the shoreline, the beach, would be some rocks and some pebbles. So it's a rocky beach, rocky tropical beach. So yeah, here's what it looks like. I am half expecting for the flowers to be done by October. It was the 4th week, so yeah, there's a chance that this would be dried out by then. If they don't look nice anymore, I'll just have to remove all of them. I don't think this would look any worse, but yeah, I'll have to be mindful of that. So yeah. Now, there's a whole other pots here, and it's going to be quite heavy lifting them all. So I'll try to show you which ones I could lift. But before that, let me just look at the comments. Yes, Carmela, they are heavy. I'm having a, I'm trying to, I'm worrying about how I would be transporting them. I think I would need to get a trolley, and at least in my car, I have an SUV. I'm just going to lay down all of the chairs, lay them flat, and place something. And I don't know, I just need to figure out how to get them from bumping into each other. I might just use cartons, use them as dividers. Okay. Rinu wanted to see the rectangular pot. So this is my entry for 3 of a kind. These are a bunch of Senecio. So the white one in the middle, this is the Senecio Haworthi, and this is also known as the woolly Senecio. I think at least that's what they call it here. And surrounding it are blue chalk sticks. These are the dwarf versions, so Senecio serpens. And around it are Senecio Rolleanus, or the string of pearls. Now, I chose these 3 because they look very different. Well, the Senecio Haworthi, the white one in the middle, and the blue chalk sticks, they kind of have the same shape, but they have very different colors. And I picked the string of pearls because the circles, the round leaves, are vastly different from all of the shape of the other Senecios. I have, well, my mom-in-law, she has some Senecio radicans, which they can look very different. Some of them look very plump, some of them look very thin, which is why they have lots of nicknames such as string of bananas, string of beans, string of watermelons, stuff like that. It depends on how thick they are. But this category only allows you to have 3 of a kind. It's windy here. So 3 of a kind. So I only pick 3 different species that I think would be a good representation of Senecio, or at least the ones that I do have in the garden. So yeah, I am not sure if I would be disqualified by technicality because they didn't really specify that there should only be 3 actual plants. They just mentioned 3 of a kind. So yeah, but I think they would allow this one, and I would say maybe I would be getting bonus points for thinking outside the box. I hope. Yeah. So Nikki asks, when is the show? Yes, Amanda, they call it Cocoon. Yeah, I hear that name as well, Cocoon and Woolly. Yeah. So the show is on the 26th and 27th, I think, of October. Let me just check the dates. It's on, yeah, the 26th and 27th of October. This is the 4th weekend of October. And for those of you wondering what this one is, this is just a piece of cardboard that I'm using to cover the keyboard because can get quite hot under the sun despite it being cold outside. I do not want my laptop to overheat, and I'm just being very low tech. Okay, yes. So yeah, that's the show date. It runs for 2 days. As far as we are concerned, we were instructed to bring the plants in by the Friday. I'm not sure when the actual judging is happening. I think sometime after the deadline of bringing in the plants, but I'm not really sure. This is my first time, so I would find out everything once it happens. And yeah, another thing that I want to show you would be the rest of the 3 of a kind. So I already shown you my Senecio planter. Now I'm going to show you the others. So this next one here, this is my 3 agavoides, 3 of a kind. And these are actually agavoides species. They are not hybrids, so they are pure agavoides. And you can tell by their shape, they all have the same shape, just different colors, just different markings. So this one right here, this is an Echeveria agavoides red edge. The one in front is an agavoides ebony, and this one here is a Romeo, agavoides Romeo. And yeah, and I'm lucky that the Romeo has just started flowering, so I hope that this stays on until the show. But if not, I would have to chop it out. But yeah, I think this would be staying on for a while because some of the flowers haven't opened yet. So yeah, it's a good thing that the flowers are here because the judges really love flowers. They actually mentioned it in one of the past meetings that I think they are giving bonus points for flowers. So yeah. Another of my 3 of a kind entries would be this one. This is a bowl containing 3 different types of colorata, and I made a video about this before, the 3 different forms of Echeveria colorata. So this first one here in front, this is an Echeveria colorata lindsayana or Echeveria colorata forma colorata. They're the same plant. And this one, this is an Echeveria colorata forma brantii, and this is an Echeveria colorata Mexican giant. So right now, these two look kind of similar because of the stress, but once it gets warmer, they will start looking a bit different. This one, this tends to have this has long slender leaves. If you compare their leaves, this one tends to be more slender, this one tends to be wider, while the Mexican giant looks entirely different. Shape-wise, these two would look the same, but the colors, this would be different. The lindsayana can go quite white, and this may confuse some people between lindsayana and the Mexican giant. But another defining feature of the lindsayana is if you look at the tips, it has this bit of red here, while with the Mexican giant, the red is just so ever tiny, just at the little protrusion at the end, and that's how you would differentiate the two. And this red tip here on the lindsayana, this has confused a lot of people because they think it looks similar to the Chihuahuensis, which is why some people call the Chihuahuensis a colorata, this one as well. And I also made a video about that confusion, and you should check it out. Now, if you wanted to see close-ups of the others, maybe I could do it in a future video. I could just do a recap of this live stream and insert photos of each of the plants or close-ups. So yeah, after we do this live stream, I'm just going to chop off, make a condensed version of this, and that way you could see all of the rest of the plants. And I'm going to look at the comments again. From Lori, Lori asks if I used cuttings. Some of them, yeah, especially in the bowls, because let's say for this one, all of the ones here in the ground, these are cuttings, as well as these ones, all of the fillers that I used. And the reason I need to use cuttings is because if I leave them with roots now, they would be growing too fast, and by the time the show comes, they would have outgrown the design already, and they would no longer look the way I intended them for them to look. So I need to stunt their growth a bit, slow them down for a bit, which is why I used cuttings for those. And Nikki asks if I'll be filming the show. Yes, I will be. I'll be doing the same format as last year, where I just show all of the plants, their categories, and place include the name, and show which one got first, second, and third. So yeah. Yep. So yeah, these are my show plants. Now, I mentioned in one of my posts recently, I think it was on Facebook, I'm not sure, but I had something in mind, because apart from the show plants, we are required, all of the competitors, all of the contestants are required to bring extra plants for display. And yeah, I still have some pots left over and a lot of plants that I wish I could bring, but I couldn't. And this would be my chance. And for that, what I'll be doing is, DL Roland says his favorite is the Amazon one, this one. Yeah, I rather like it too, because visually it tells you a story, unlike the others, which, like this one, this is just a more of a slapstick comedy type of thing, but this has a deeper meaning. So yeah. Yep, where was I? Yeah, regarding the display plants, I need to prepare a bunch of other plants for display, and what I'll be doing is I'll be showing the plants that I wished I was able to bring to the show, and just bring them to the show. But they won't be entering as my entries for the competition. And what I'll be including there are the plants that I feel look nice already right now, but are not eligible to join the show. For example, I have a bunch of plants that I would have wanted to join into the Echeveria class, but they are either too large, or they have lots of winter damage. So yeah, just the plants that I think would not have won in the competition, I'll be bringing them. Let me just. He should show. Yeah. Hi, 101 Direct. So looks like more people are joining just now. So yeah, earlier I was just showing some of my plants here, some of the dish gardens, and some of the three of a kinds. And let me just show you this one. I really like this arrangement as well. This is a single entry. This is an entry for under 20 centimeters. Echeveria under 14 centimeters. And I am hoping that this is accepted as a technicality, because each rosette is definitely under 14 centimeter, and the way that they are facing right now, it is facing sideways. So if you measure them, the diameter from side to side, it would still measure less than 14 centimeters. So yeah, even if this is a clump and not just a single plant, the whole thing would fit the restriction. So I think it would still work. And I really like the way I staged this, because there are a bunch of rocks here. It looks like it is actually sitting on this outcrop. If you would imagine this in the wild, where it has grown between rocks. So yeah, this is what I was going for. And I filled in the rest of the gaps with tiny pebbles. This would contrast against the larger rocks. So yeah. And of course, the flowers are screaming right now. And even if these ones would get exhausted by October, there are still some new buds coming out. So hopefully, by October, the other side would be flowering as well. And yeah, judges love flowers. Looking at the comments again. Yeah. So Carmela says, I have difficulty understanding the categories last year. I'm glad you're explaining, and I will enjoy this time. So yeah, about last year, I think there were, well, Wayne, the president of the society, mentioned that in last year's competition, there were some plants that were entered in the wrong category, so they are going to be more strict this time, and I think that's one of the reasons why they reduced the number of categories as well, just to avoid confusion. But compared to last year, not a lot has changed. There's still the same, the main categories are still there, and I'm pretty sure that on the cactus side, because a lot of the members are cactus collectors, the competition there is going to be fierce, I think. And but on the upside, on the succulent side of the show, I think this is going to be, well, at least, yeah, I think my plants have a uniform look to them, more or less, the way they are staged, the type of rocks that I used. So I think they would be recognizable in the show, I hope. And yeah, just now I was talking about the display plants, and there's something that I would like to show you. Um, so with regards to my display, I'm thinking that maybe I could bring this one, my logo bowl. I could place this somewhere and create a little design, a little display where I place my logo bowl down and surround it with lots of plants in pots. And I would have to ask if something like this is allowed, but this is something that I definitely hope would be allowed in the show, because for one, I think this would be free advertising, free advertising for my channel, and another would be, this would be, I think this would be the mark that that would say that I am actually serious about bringing more Echeveria into the show. So in my display corner, I'm going to bring a whole lot of Echeveria, and I started I started picking them out in the garden a while ago before starting this live stream. Let me just show you the plants. It's going to be Hello? Do you hear me now? Hello? Do you hear me now? Ah, really sorry about that. What? Okay, so what did you miss? Where did the audio drop off? Yeah, I agree. I should check every 2 minutes or something. Sorry about the echo. I had the laptop audio just audio on just now just to check if there's audio. Should be muted again. Okay, no audio, no audio. Went out since when? Okay, let me just do it again. What's the last thing you remember? Display. Ah, okay, display plants. All right, let's do it again. I think the issue arises when I move the camera around. Maybe the cables and stuff, they get detached or something. So I'll try not to move the camera again. But I think you saw some of the plants earlier, right? So I'll do it again. So with regards to my display plants, I think I'll just move the camera somewhere where I could show everything, and I'll check on the audio again. Then yeah, we'll continue from there. So I hope this view works and there's still audio. Can you let me know if there's still audio? So I'm just waiting for feedback. Okay, good. So display plants. Again. Let's do it again. So like I said, with my display plants, I am thinking of bringing this logo bowl. I hope you can see this. And yeah, this is a logo representing my channel. I haven't, well, I was supposed to ask the organizers and see if something like this is allowed, because this is not a plant, this is not a display plant. But I was thinking of creating a display where I put my logo bowl and surround it with a whole bunch of other plants like this. If you could just imagine it, all the plants going around it, something like that. And this logo bowl again represents my channel, and in some way it is some sort of free advertising, free plug for my channel. Let me just bring up my laptop so I can see the comments. So yep, names. So I was explaining earlier, because I was showing you some of these plants. This Echeveria cante here, this is I was originally wanting to show this, to bring this to the show as one of my entries for the larger category. But the problem is this sustained lots of damage during winter. It was fully exposed to the elements, and it got hit by a lot of hail. So there's a lot of markings on the leaves, and some of the farina have been rubbed off by the hail. So it is not looking as perfect as it was before winter. But it's still a really nice plant, quite large and very, very noticeable. So I'm still quite proud of this plant, even though it has lots of superficial damage. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this will recover, and I'll be bringing this again next year. But for now, it will just be a display plant, because I'm pretty sure those who have been following my channel would recognize that plant. It has been in the channel for a few years now, and yeah, this would be one of the recognizable plants, and those who are familiar with Cerriscapades would definitely recognize it. And this is an Echeveria catella. I think a lot of people are very attracted to red Echeveria, so I'll be bringing this to the show. I just need to move it into a different type of pot. I still should have pots around here. And this is the Echeveria clavifolia, which I was originally thinking of bringing to the other succulent types, other succulents not mentioned category, but I later changed my mind because it looks very similar to my other entry, which is this one. This is Pachyphytum glutinicole, also known as lavender pebbles. They have similar shape, which is why I think maybe I should just go with a bit of variety. Checking the comments. Yeah. Okay. And up next, this is Takasago no Okina. It is. I would have wanted to bring this to the show as well because I have well, part of my, well, those who know me would know that I really love freely and carunculated Echeveria. I do not have a freely Echeveria representing my entries, so I really wish I had one. The problem with this though is that it has lots of hail damage on some of the older leaves, so that it has lots of spots and edema. So it's not as perfect or as pristine as I hope, but I think I'll still place this in a nice looking pot. That way, if I do change my mind last minute, I could just swap out one of them. Now with regards to, I was pointing out this too, and that yellow plant, that red plant right there, because I was thinking that, I'm not sure if you could still see me here, but these two are looking very similar. This one on the right, the left, this is an Echeveria monaloa. This is an Echeveria bumps. And these two are both Gibiflora hybrids. I'm not sure. The comments are covering it. Let's just move it a little bit. Hopefully the audio stays. Is my audio still working? Yeah, I think it's still working. So, as I was saying, these are two of my large Echeveria entries. This is the Echeveria monaloa and the Echeveria bumps. The problem with this right now is during winter, they both look the same, or at least they have the same shape, because normally they have their leaves upright. No, the monaloa has the leaves upright, while the bumps always has the leaves more of lateral or even downwards. That's just a difference in how they are shaped. The verrugas here definitely looks a lot different from them, because this one always retains this shape. It looks more like a bowl, an inverted bowl. While this is just their winter forms. In winter, the monaloa tends to have larger caruncles and the leaves tends to curl downwards, while normally it goes upwards. The bumps is doing the same. So I think that they are looking very similar at the moment, and I really would like a bit of variety in my entries. And the problem here is it's a shame getting rid of the bumps, because I really want to enter my monaloa. But the problem here is the bumps has this really nice spot, very nice character to it. And I would like to retain this spot, which is why just now I was looking at some of my larger Echeverias that do not have bumps, and that's when I noticed the red one there. So let me just move back to that plant. And please let me know if I lose audio again. Just checking audio. Lindsay was asking about close-up photos. I think I can only do that once I edit this video, because right now I don't have photos ready. I am not that prepared. I'll be creating a recap of this video. I'll just be, creating a condensed version. But anyway, so if you try to recall the look and the shape of the pot just now, the large pot, I'm thinking of replacing the bumps there with this Echeveria Mary Butterfield. I think this looks stunning. It's really large, and compared to the pot, I think it is, well, the pot and this plant is a perfect match, because in terms of size, they complement each other, you know. They do not overpower each other. It's just the right size. And yeah, I think this would be a perfect alternative. So I might be removing that plant sometime this weekend and plant this one in instead. So let me know what you think. I'm just moving the camera back. And the sun is out again. So look at the comments again. Yeah, I see that a lot of you, well, some of you agree with me. Yeah, switch out the bumps. Yeah. So thank you for, you know, this is a sanity check for me because I don't know if I'm being crazy thinking about replacing them. But I guess, yeah, I guess it is a good idea. They look very similar and yeah, it might be a bit boring for the viewers as well. And yeah, I think that's it for my show plants. And ah, I should show you this. I'm not sure if the zoom would be enough, but my tulips decided to come out. And is my audio still working? Yeah, thank you. So if you recall, I think a bit over a year ago I prepared this area. I call this my tulip area. But the problem with tulips is for most of the year they are doing nothing. They only come out, they only bloom in spring, which is why I just had all of these pots laying around here. There should be some tulips along in this section as well, but only that one there and this one here, only these two sprouted this time. But the ones at the top layer, they all sprouted. So I'm thinking that maybe I should just consolidate all of the tulips, place them at the top, and use this whole place here for my succulent plants. Because originally I was thinking of creating a design, a landscape containing both tulips and Echeveria. But the problem is I do not know where the tulips are. I forgot where they are because I removed the markers. So I need to wait for them to bloom, and that's when I should start planning out this landscape. But yeah, when the tulips are here, they're looking really lovely. It feels like it's worth it, but while they are not here for the rest of the year, it feels so annoying because there's this large gap, a blank spot, a bald area, which should have been filled with plants, and it's really annoying. I have a phone call, and it's just a telemarketer. So yeah, that's my tulip area. And I think it's almost time to wrap up this live stream. There's one more thing that I wanted to discuss. The show, yes, October 26th. Bye, Lori. Yeah, yeah. As mentioned, it's spring in the southern hemisphere, so all of you in the northern hemisphere is heading into fall or autumn. Us here, we are in spring now, and our summer starts in December. It's starting to get warm, even though it has been a bit cold for the past few days, which is why the plants are still retaining their stress colors. But hopefully I could keep them stressed enough to be able to still bring a bit of color into the show. I think it's possible. Now, yeah, as I mentioned, there's one more thing that I wanted to discuss. So, in terms of the channel itself, I have been thinking a lot about it, and yeah. So, as you know, I have been working on a series on plant identification. I've also been working on my regular series, which is my vlog, Let's Plant. And I've been thinking that uh, as I've been reviewing my channel, I see that there's a lot of videos in my vlog that should have been standalone videos, because my vlog format tends to be longer because I ramble about a lot of things about what I was thinking. But I think I should I should just purely focus, at least with my vlog, I should just focus on the things where I work on my garden with my landscapes and stuff, and everything else should be in a different format, in a more straightforward format. Because you know how, let's say if I create a guide on propagation, I don't think that that's the type of thing that people would like in a long form. Ayun yung short black. Yes, a lot of people are asking about it. I have a few friends asking if if they could have cuttings. I have another small bush. I used to have a lot of them planted in the ground, but when I was cleaning up my garden last summer, I think I accidentally threw out some of them. But yeah. So regarding the channel, I was thinking of doing a bit of change with my formats. So everything under the Let's Plant name would just be where I'd be working on my garden. Everything else would be their own format. So overall, it might not be a whole lot different. It's just that it might affect the frequency of the videos. The short form videos are easier to produce generally, and they might come out more frequently than the Let's Plant. But the problem is, right now I only have the weekend to work with my garden. But thankfully the days are getting longer now. So yeah, I guess it's not going to be a problem anyway. And apart from that, Season 3, as I mentioned, Season 3 is about to start. Season 2 ended this month. I started Let's Plant 2 years ago after my birthday, and that's where I define the start of the seasons. Carmela, how many days you can go to prepare your display? Um, yeah, I had people ask me this quite a lot in my Facebook posts. So Nikki is screaming inside. Um, I decided to start preparing my plants 1 month before the show, mainly because it is, well, if I prepare them any earlier, it would still be winter, and if I do cuttings or whatever, they would not be doing anything, and they would just probably rot if exposed to a lot of rain and stuff. And I like to be able to, especially for dish gardens, if I prepare them too early, if they would start growing before the show, and by the time the show comes around, they would have completely outgrown the display or the arrangement, which would not be good, because I would be forced to chop them again, replant, make them shorter again. And yeah, I think 1 month before the show is perfect time to work on the dish gardens. And as for the single plants, it's a good idea to work on them earlier, but I was just being lazy. Winter is cold and it's not really comfortable working outside, so I just work on all of them at the same time. Nikki is calling out. Let me just turn the camera around. Hopefully we do not lose audio. Hi, Zach. Hi. Yeah, I think I think my kids are hungry now. I should be getting in a bit. But to wrap things up, I'd like to say thank you for joining me on this live stream. I would have to cut it short now. And apart from that, for those of you here in Victoria, I hope to see you in the show. I don't think I'll be there the whole day, but of course I have kids. I'll be there on both days. On Saturday I would be probably just chilling around, bringing my kids to the show as well. But on Sunday I might focus on filming. Yeah, I think Saturday would be me bringing the family and just shopping around because I would like to get a whole lot of new plants. But yeah, if I do my filming on Saturday, that means that I would have to be there the whole day and my kids would be really bored. So I guess Saturday would just be half day or a few hours, and I'll be there for the most part on Sunday. So if you're there, make sure to say hi, take photos of my plants, share them on socials, spread the word. Yeah, I could use the publicity. And yeah, but if you do share my plants, please put the message that the reason why I made the display is because I would like Echeverias to be more represented in future shows. So yeah, I hope that this inspires a lot of you who are not yet members of the society to join the society and bring your own Echeveria to the show next year. And hopefully we would be able to convince the organizers to open more Echeveria categories. I have proposed, well, I only propose in my videos, but I haven't sent a formal proposal to the society. But I think if we have enough Echeverias in the show, we would be able to convince them. So, yeah, that's the goal. And I hope to see you in the show. I'll see you then. Bye. All the best. And I'm just looking at the comments before I leave. Yeah, from Oregon. Good night for you in the other side of the world. Good morning for those who are in Asia. And good evening for, I can't remember. Time zones, man. Okay, bye. I'm ending this now.